This content is for educational purposes only. What you do with this information is at your own risk. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Mig Switch. There you go. Now, I know this is going to be pretty controversial and most likely will not last on my channel very long, but I wanted to go ahead and check it out anyways, see how it works, see how it runs. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be testing it out and giving its initial setup, and I'll be talking about it as we go along and maybe answer some questions that you may have with it as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so here is the Mig Switch. This is what it comes in, this little box here. And I was going to open it already and then test it out because that's what I usually do before I make any video. But I just thought that we can open it up together because I thought that would be cooler and experience this whole thing all in one go. So I may stumble a lot on my words and things like that, but hey, we're going to experience this together. Now, as I open it, I would like to say that I am disappointed. I'm going to try and do this really slow. I don't want to mess up the box. I am disappointed because when I ordered this, it was supposed to come with the dumper tool. And then after a while, it was updated that they were going to sell the dumper tool separately. And I paid, the amount so that way I can get the dumper tool as well. And now I have to wait for it. And I'm debating whether to get it or not regardless, because I don't need it in my instance. If you have a modded switch, so this is for those that, have a modded switch on one end and then a regular switch on the side that they play online with. On the other end, you can use the modded switch in order to dump those same files, just like the dumper. It's just a lot easier to use the dumper. But I don't want to wait, and with as much going on with this chip here, or this cartridge, this idea, it's gonna most likely bring a lot of controversy, a lot of issues, things like that. So we'll talk about it as we go along. But this is what it looks like. It looks like a regular cartridge. It does not come with the SD card, so you have to provide that for yourself. And yeah, so what we need to do first is we're going to see if it needs to be updated. And if you go onto the website, which I probably won't show at all, because I want to see, I don't know what I can and cannot. But on the website, it offers a download option for updating the cartridge itself. So that's what we're going to do first, and then see how that works. And then after that, then we'll do the different steps of going forward with what you want to do with this thing. But let's go ahead and download that one file. All right, so I know I said I was not going to show y'all the website, but I decided to show y'all anyways, because if this video gets taken down and I did not get to show y'all what I wanted to, then that's going to make me upset, because I like to give a lot of detail, and if it got taken down anyways, then what was the point? So with that, here's the website. Maybe I won't leave a link in the description, but you can look up here in the URL and decide if you want to look at the website for yourself. So once you get to this website, you can click on downloads and instructions, and here you're going to want to look for the latest version for the cartridge and the dumper if you decide to get both of them. And this is they share the same update file. So for the cartridge, we're going to look for the latest version, and once you click on this link, it'll start the download process. After that, you can have it moved to the desktop like I have done already. Now you can use your zipping software because we're going to extract the one file that's in here. And I like to use 7-zip. If you want to follow along with me, you can look in the description. I'll have a download link to 7-zip as well. But with 7-zip, I'm going to right click, go to 7-zip, and then open the archive. Once the archive is open, now what we can do is open up our SD card. So that I have already opened up here. And just to be on the safe side, I like to do a format, even if it's brand new, and it doesn't hurt anything to do a format. with the new SD card. Now, also talking about a format, it is recommended to have it in exFAT. I don't think it's because of the file system. I think it's because when you want to transfer any dumped files onto your SD card, you're going to have that 4 GB limit with FAT32. So you're going to want to have your SD card in exFAT format. So mine's native FAT32 because it's only a 30 GB SD card, but you can use whichever one that you want. Everything should be working fine with any SD card. So I'm going to go ahead and do a format in exFAT. Reopen it up down here. And now we have the SD card that's blank. And what we're going to do with the archive, my head is not in the way. We're just going to highlight this one file, and then we're going to extract it to the root of this SD card. And according to the instructions, this is all you have to do the update for the cartridge. So I'm going to close out of this archive. Now the SD card has the update file, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and eject and put it inside the cartridge for the Mig Switch. Okay, so after you eject the SD card, then you're going to go ahead and slide it into the SD card slot here on the Mig Switch, and that's pretty much it. Now to start the update process, according to the instructions, it's just plug it into the switch or insert in the switch and see if there's any blue light, LED light flashing. So here I have my switch. And just to quickly show y'all that I don't have any CFW at all. If I try and hold the R, A, nothing happens. L and A, just showing you there's no CFW on this at all. And I was going to show you the settings. I am on 17.01, but it's ready for 18.00, and I don't want to update this yet. I will most likely show footage of an OLED from my nephew that I'm going to update his to 18.00 and test it out, even though I know that the Mig Switch does work on 18.00. So just for that reference. But here it says just insert into the switch. Let's see if I can do this. I have my phone camera in the way, so I'm like looking over stuff. So let's see if the blue light comes out. There you go. Looks like it's shining blue for a little bit. And then it's supposed to just go away. So it says here it's going to flash blue for a short moment. When updating is finished, the LED light will stop flashing and remain blue. All right, so I was flashing blue for a little bit, then turned solid, and then turned off. So I assume that's done already. So I'm going to try it. Take it out and put it back in. See what it does. There you go. So now it's just a solid red color. I don't know what that means, but I think we should be good. So now let's go ahead and test it out. Now we can eject out of the cartridge and we can go back onto our SD card and put anything that we dump in there. Okay, so once you update your Mig Switch cartridge, it should be able to be used now. And in order to test this out, we now need to dump a physical game cartridge. And for the example of this video, I'm going to be using this game. And I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want to get in trouble. I even changed the picture here and the name up here just to be on the safer side of things. But it is a real game, and I'm going to be testing it on a different Switch after this. I'll probably blur it out, but we'll cross that bridge when I get there. But for now, we're going to go ahead and insert the cartridge. And now I have access to my cartridge. And in order to dump this physical game cartridge, we do have two options with a modded switch. So on the website of the Mig Switch, it does have an option here for on the download section. Mig Switch dump tool, this NRO executable. Once you download this, you'd be able to use this tool. And if you go onto this link here and read about backing up your games, I'm not going to show it here, but it does tell you that if you want to use the Mig dump tool, you also have to pair it with the NX dump tool. And in order to use the NX dump tool, you need to have your prod keys. Now I can't show you where or how to get these prod keys, so hopefully Google can help you out in that sense. But once you have everything, you don't have to use the Mig dump tool. It's just a lot easier because it's a one-click thing and it'll dump everything for you. But I'll talk about that as we go along. So just to show you for reference, we're going to just put everything inside the SD card. So in order to access the SD card from here, I'm going to plug in my switch to my PC, and I'm going to be using the DB installer in order to access my SD card. So entering HB menu without applet mode, go into DB installer, go into the MTP responder, and I should be able to see my SD card on my PC. So I'm going to put it up here and enter my SD card. I'm going to enter the switch folder. And actually, I need to move it to the side so I can get these files. I'm going to highlight all the files, and then I'm going to put them inside the switch folder. It's telling me to replace my prod keys because I already had them in there from other things that I use. But once we're done with that, then we're done with the SD card with adding those files. And then we can now back out of the DB installer. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into the HB menu without applet mode. And here we can now see the Mig dump tool and the NX dump tool. Now, in order for everything to work smoothly, you need to be able to make sure that you can go into the NX dump tool and enter it. Now, the reason why I say that is because the Mig tool needs the NX dump tool to be working. So if you're able to enter it here, if it doesn't work for you, then it's most likely because your versions of your CFW is just too old. You may need to update. Maybe you have a high version and you need to get the right NX dump tool, which I'm using 1701, and the links I sent to you should be working for 1701. The next thing that could be an issue is your prod keys. If you don't have the right prod keys, this will not work either. But with this done, we can go now into the Mig Switch app. And inside this Mig Switch app, we have the options here for one easy dump. The NX dump tool, you have to manually dump all of the files that are important. And let me tell you about that. So if we go to advanced options, these are the files that are going to be dumped. All of them have to be checked on because they're all important. But I'm just showing you that the files that are going to be dumped, because I can't show you once I dump them because it's going to show the game title. So another thing I would like to mention is right here, this certificate. This is the most important thing because it's specific to every single cartridge out there. So my cartridge has to have my certificate. I cannot share certificates with others because it's specific to my cartridge only. I just want you to be aware of that. That's why this dump tool exists, is because we want to be able to use the backups of our files, update when there's updates. We can naturally update it with this certificate. We can go online, things like that. So if you don't have the certificate, you will get banned. But just letting you know that information. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on in this video, but just showing you that. The output space, you can use your micro SD, or you can use a PC with a server that I believe the website has, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to dump it to my SD card just to keep things a little bit faster, and then I will be transferring these files onto my PC and then putting them on the Mig Switch. So with that, I'm going to go back, and then I'm just going to click on one easy click dump, and it should just start dumping the files for me. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to let this load, and I'll get back to y'all when this is done. Okay, so the dump has just finished, and I'm going to go back into the DB installer so that way I can now remove these files and put them on my PC. So I'll go into the DB installer. Once it pops up, we should have a new folder here that says the Mig dump tool. And I might have this blurry because I don't want you to see the game title. It might say the game title, but if I blur it, I'm sorry, but let's check it out. Okay, so it does say the game title. It created a whole folder for us. If we go into the folder, it created everything that we need. We have the version 0 base XCI file. We have the ID. we have the certificate, and the other ID files as well. So we have everything that we need inside this one folder. All we need to do now is just go ahead and put this folder on to the Mig Switch. So I'm going to dump this. I'm going to take this out of my PC, and then I'm going to put this on the Mig Switch after. Okay, so I transferred all the files to the SD card that's going to be inside the Mig Switch, and I just ejected and I put it back inside the Mig Switch. Now, if I put it inside any switch, it should just pop up and be ready to go. But before I do that, I just want to mention that here I have a different switch. This is an OLED. This is my nephew's switch, and it's not modded. So just showing you, it's not modded. I just updated to 18.00. So it's the latest version right now, and well, that's pretty much it. So now let's go ahead and insert this Mig Switch. I want to make sure that you're able to see it. Is it blurry? Come on, there you go. Insert the Mig Switch, and should pop up the game that I backed up. There we go. I might have it blurry, I might not yet. We'll see. But the game has been backed up. Now, before I try it out, this is going to be in version 1. It's just the base file, because that's all you can do. At the moment, I don't know if that was their plan to make sure that it stays as just a backup, but I think you can only dump the base. And any type of updates, according to the website, any type of updates you got to do with a switch that's not banned. So that's the importance about having all the files that are important. The certificate, the ID, the VID, and the data backup, everything that the MIG dumps for you. It is very important that you have all those files, or else you can get banned. So for my nephew, using this dumper, like I can show you right here. So it's still the Mig Switch, and I can put it back in, and there you go. So now that it's a version 1, I need to update it, and that's why I'm saying that they had precautions to make sure that there's an update, because this switch is not banned. Now I can go ahead and click download, and it will download the updates, the DLC that I have that was already stored in the switch. So my nephew did already have this game installed, and pretty much just starting all over, installing the data will be going back to normal. So yeah, that should be pretty much it with a switch that is non-banned, and that's how you would stay unbanned. But there is different options, which I'm going to show now. Let me go to that. Okay, so I went ahead and decided to just end the video here. I wanted to do a whole nother section with the modded switch side of things, and I just thought that it kind of defeats the purpose of what this tool actually does, because you don't need it. But I just wanted to show something that I think I cannot show, and I wanted to be safe on this video, so I'll most likely show what I wanted to show on a separate video after this. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and just give my review on this. I really like this tool. It's pretty cool to do your backup. It's really cool that you can have it all on one cartridge. The thing I don't like is that you have to keep inserting and I don't know how to say it, exerting, but you have to keep putting in and out the cartridge in order to cycle through your backups. And I don't like that, because I know a lot of people had issues with the SD card slot because of inserting and exerting. And I'm going to assume, I don't know how strong the cartridge port is, but that might be a thing where we're going to be seeing some cartridge port replacements, maybe. But that's pretty much it. I think it's really cool to use, especially if you have the opportunity. Now that brings some concern for me, because I assume people are going to look online for other resources, and that's pretty scary, because if this game that you're looking for is not dumped properly with all the appropriate files, then you will get banned, and then there's nothing you can do about it. I do think it was pretty clever for them to only back up the base, and then in order to update or use your game, you have to have an unbanned switch and be able to use online features in order to update and get your DLC back. So I thought that was pretty clever, and to be on the safe side of things. But other than that, I feel like it's kind of dangerous in the sense of people looking for outside sources. I'm assuming that this can be cloned pretty easily. I don't know anything about that, but if it can, just be safe out there. Be careful. If you ever look for any type of other sources, make sure that they're reliable. And I don't know how you can check to see if it is reliable. I don't know any of that, but that's a tough one. So it does what it's supposed to do, and it works on all switches. This one that I was using is an OG switch, and then I used it on an OLED. So can't get any newer than that with the latest firmware. But other than that, I don't think there's any more questions. As far as, I think, like, people would ask, like, how do you update? So that I just covered that. How many you can put in there? You can put as many as you want, as long as your SD card can handle it. You can put them on all separate files and folders. That's probably what I'll show on the next video, because I still want to show you what I want to talk about. But other than that, it's working fine here. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment down below. If my video is still up, I'll respond to you. This video will most likely also get put on my website, so that way that one can't get taken down over there. So if it does, I'll most likely put a link to the website, so that way you can have it there as well. I'll put it in the description, and I'll probably put it in the community tab as well, so that way you can see it there. But other than that, everything is working. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, thanks for watching. Appreciate the love and support. And as always, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one.